What's going on? JaymesHanson back again to bring you a video about, this is my non-spoiler review, talking about things that I experienced at the Cour 4 pre-screening event. So if you like this video, hit that like, subscribe, and let's get motherfucking into it, shall we? Right, so in regards to how this, and I am live streaming at the same time, but how this went down in terms of my expectations, I looked at Cour 3 and looked at it as, what did Cour 3 give us? Well, Cour 3, the very first two episodes was the Ichigo fight with Yuha, and, well, the conclusion of that, and Ichigo versus Yuha, which was very, as I said at the time, very episode 7-esque, which I think a lot of you can agree with that mindset. It kind of was. It was a throwback. It kind of went the same direction, X, Y, and Z, right? So, how did this differ from my expectations of Cour 3? There was a lot right off the bat. And I mean, you know, I sat there watching Cour 4 and these three episodes, and I literally sat there and thought, I actually asked myself a question, and I was like, I'm going to get flamed if I say this, and I need to kind of think about, am I being hyped right now? Am I being put in a mindset where I'm in a theatre setting? And when I say, did it have mapper levels of animation? In terms of, and I'm going to be very specific, and I don't want anyone to take this away, like, out of my mouth, right? I don't want anyone to misunderstand. When it came to fight scenes, right, it was very, if not better than Mappa, because it wasn't sensory overload. Because here's the difference. Something that I don't like about Mappa is that they don't stay on model very much, right, if at all. And I felt like Bleach's was, it was a lot. Like, the animation was a lot, but it was fucking consistent. And it was long form, too. I'm not talking about a Sakuga clip here and there. I'm not talking about Hoshwald's saw slightly brushing Uryu's hair, which did happen. And it was like, oh, okay, that was unnecessary, but fair play, right? Do it. It was long formatted, and it was a lot of animation, right? Even when it wasn't, like, even when it was talking and that, it just looked gorgeous, right? Direction wise. So, you know, it is a bit of a high ball to start off right off the bat, but that is, you know, I looked at these fights and I thought, do you know what, man? Like, if somebody was to give me a comparison with a Mappa fight, I'd say this is better, right? And again, that's coming from me, right? Take that as you would. So, which segment do you think was the best animated? So, here's what we covered. I think that's an important asset we go from, right? It was 43 episodes. Obviously, we know it was 3 episodes. We covered, and I really do have to go in my memory here because it's a lot, right? I do, Clyde, I do think we're going to get a mad Aizen versus Yuha showdown from what I've seen already. So, we had, because the fights were happening simultaneously. So we had, first and foremost, we had Yuha Box flashback. Not flashback, sorry, his dream of Shikai Ichigo killing him. We start off the Cour, that's the very first thing in the episode. That's his dream. After that, we go to Hoshwald versus Uryu, which lasts for the 3 episodes. It doesn't conclude, it lasts for the 3 episodes. And I would have to reread the manga, truth be told, because I feel like the manga doesn't exist for Hoshwald and Uryu's fight at all. I feel like they just said, fuck it. We're going completely we're just doing a complete full revamp. Not even a revamp, just like they've just scrapped the manga version. Now, again, I'm not sure, right? Because this fight still hasn't ended. It's gone on for 3 fucking episodes, right? It's not long in the manga, you correct, right? So, but like the whole dynamic, you got Uryu's you know, Volstandig, Hoshwald, which is controlling the Almighty. Like, he has a new like Almighty robe in black, and he's using the black reishi against Uryu. Look, I'll talk about the Uryu fight, but so let me just say what fights we got, which is very like difficult because there's a lot. So obviously Yoruichi versus Askin, Urahara versus Askin, Gerard Valkyrie versus the Vizards, Gerard Valkyrie versus Toshiro, Kenpachi, and Byakuya. Ichigo versus obviously Yuha. Orihime versus Yuha. Ichigo and Ganju versus the Pillarman, right? The Sand Pillarman. That did get extended and that did get changed as well. Currently, not so much. Did it get extended? Yes. Is it any better? I mean, it's not really. Not really. It exists. Can Chad get redeemed? Hopefully. Hopefully. I feel like it was being set up for something, right? But I'll tell you what I liked about it for sure. Chad did get screen time. Jinta, Tessai, and Ururu are in the fucking episode. Oh, by the way, the big sphere thing, very fucking important. Couldn't tell you why. I don't speak fluent Japanese, right? But it was very important. It was affecting the world of the living. Jinta's like, what the fuck is this? Tessai's spitting something. Ururu's saying something. They made a cameo. Tatsuki Orihime had a flashback about their conversation about flowers, about what flower Ichigo would be, which was very, very nice actually, might I add. It was very beautiful. There was a new OST, and again, like, I'm sorry, I'm not, like, my explanations aren't going to be the best, but there was one OST, it sounded almost Arabic. It was like I don't know how, like classical Arabic, like choir singing. And maybe I'm fucking that up. Again, I'm going through my memory bank here. Overstimulation, you know. So yeah, in terms of, this is going to be a bitch to edit, but in terms of, like, yeah, the non-spoiler review of this is that 3 episodes, those are the fights you got. Was it amazing? Abso-fucking-lutely it was. It ended off, obviously we got the Yoruichi. I'm sorry for spoiling that, but we got the Yoruichi ass scene. We're so back. We're so back. Yeah, kind of like Egyptian, you could say that, but we're so back. There was no way they were fitting that panel in the actual episode itself, but as a title card, it, like, the moment I saw, because they don't show the shot, they show the number first and then the ass, and then I was like, oh my god, I know what that number is without even knowing what that number is, because of the way the curve of the cheek was the curve of the nut. I was like, I know what that is. It's here. We did it, boys. And I was itching. I was fucking phone under my fucking thigh, trying so hard to just, like, get that slight tweet in about Yoruichi's ass being confirmed. Cinema. I had to do it. I had to slide that so hard, bro. Yeah, I know you watch his biblical inspiration. Yeah, I get. But again, I'm hesitating because I don't know if that's the correct term of the type of music that I'm thinking of. So, Yoruichi as a cat. The cat form. If you're worried about it, don't be. When I tweeted that every frame is pausable, it's because it is absolute art through and through. And Yoruichi is, like, I mean, she's pretty fucking nude. She's basically on the borderline of nudity, and there's definition in the body, and it's great. There's back arches, there's skin detail, there's folds in the thigh. It's biblical. Absolutely biblical. I did like the Vizards teaming up. I'm glad that they added that in. Even though we all know the fate of the Vizards, I think that they did some amazing cooperation. Obviously, it started off with Hiyori doing the Seros, which obviously got just mogged off by Gerard. But there was some really good teamwork with all the Vizards that I really appreciated. Could they have done more? Obviously, they fucking could have. They could have all gone bankai and could have done some damage to him, right? But I think there was that nice little, everyone had their Sero pointed straight at his face. They blasted that shit on with the hollow masks. It did do something until it didn't. He got clotheslined like you would in wrestling, and that's when Toshiro came in with his nice appearance. So, I mean, they didn't have to do anything with the Vizards. I'm just glad that they did. We know the result. We shouldn't really expect anything different. Openings and endings didn't happen until after the credits were started to roll. So there was no opening like there was in the Cour 3. So I kind of had to, like, just listen to the music and kind of make a assumption on what I'm hearing. And I was listening to the ending song, and I was like, that's my first love story, or my first story, or whatever it's called, right? Amazing ending, fantastic ending, bangs, peak. The opening, it's interesting. It's very close to, if you like opening 3, it's that same ish vibe, but again, I'm trying to go through memory. I'd need to hear it again. My first impression of it was I was very happy, right? I was very happy. I felt like it fit the vibe. It felt very bleachy. Is it Rabunda Melody? No. Is it a bit more not upbeat, but is it a bit more punk rocky? Sure, we like a bit of punk rock. The vocals were good. It's not WOD, right? So it's good. It's good. I'd say if you like opening 3, there's a very high chance you'll like this one, right? So of the Blood War, sorry, opening 3 of the Blood War. So I think I think there was a great choice in that. I think very good choices. Kisuke's Bankai, again, they did it absolutely amazing. There was a dialogue change I noticed, which was in the manga. Kisuke says, just as he's about to get blown up by Askin's gift ball, he says, "It's all up to you, Ichigo and Kuchiki-san." And for the longest time, we were kind of like, did Kubo change the story? Because Kuchiki obviously didn't get involved right at the end. So everyone was kind of weird by that dialogue. I mean, even for like not knowing Japanese, I understood what Kisuke said. He was kind of like about to go down and out, and he was saying like Kurosaki not Kurosaki-kun. There was a Kurosaki-kun in there. Kurosaki-san, Kuchiki-san, Mina-san, meaning everyone, gomenne, or like I'm sorry, right? Ichigo, Kuchiki, everyone, I'm sorry. So that was a dialogue change from the manga that I felt fixed that problem that I had. That was never really a problem, but it was there, I suppose, which was a nice touch. To be honest, I want to spoil a lot. So in terms of like the non-spoiler video, right? Here's what I'm gonna say before I get into the spoiler stuff, which if you want to go watch that video, right? Well, I'm going to answer questions from people and we'll go really deep into it. Every fight, Kisuke versus Askin, Yoruichi versus Askin, Vizards, everyone versus Gerard, every single fight that I saw was absolutely top to bottom biblical. Pacing was incredible. Extra scenes were emotionally intense. And I can't talk about Yoruichi versus Yuha without just absolutely coming. Because that was probably the most unexpected experience that I'd ever had as a Bleach fan. I'm quite fine with Orihime being support and defense, but the shit she was fucking pulling is fucking levels of peak that I never thought I needed, but we got it, and I don't know what I'd do without it now. It is so, like, bro, Orihime power scaling, stocks, character, like, it was just, these past 3 episodes was a Orihime flex off. Not only did the titties jiggle, the character development shot the fuck up. We got some backstory with Tatsuki, and she was doing mad Sakuga bits, bro. I generally cannot wait for you guys to see it, right? So I'm going to leave it essentially at that. In terms of Ichigo versus Yuha, that was extended greatly too. Ichigo, he knew what he was doing, but at the end of the day, the co-op, this is what I hate about Bleach, is that they don't do enough team battles with some good choreography. Ichigo Orihime choreography against Yuha was absolutely on point. That's something, like, I love the one-to-one battles, I do, right? Here's me, I'm going to get a power-up, you're going to get a power-up, I'm going to get a okay, you know, the normal Dragon Ball trait, right? But Orihime, Ichigo, the team-up, the back-up, the speed was incredible at points. Orihime was struggling to catch up, and then she was catching up, and then she wasn't. Things were happening that was just an absolute pleasure to see. And Ichigo was struggling, and you could tell he couldn't do this on his own. And I loved that. It was amazing. And Uri versus Hashwell, well, I would love to talk more about that fight. I really would. It's a lot of fighting, but also a lot of questions. that I didn't know what was going on because I'm not fluent, right? So obviously I recognized Deli-chan. Deli-chan was very prominent in the first episode, and I will say whoever fucking animated Orihime in episode 3, because that's where it's kicking off, episode 3. Whoever animated Orihime, they were busy in the chamber, bro. They were there. So if you want to go see the spoilers video, because there's some very eager people, go over there. There'll be a link in the description down below. I'll catch you guys over there, and peace.